Hello everybody and welcome to Octane Outlaws Week 9 at Auto Club. We are just finishing up practice here as we see a few cars trying to run side by side, get some extra reps in here while it's all just for fun. Coming to qualifying. And we'll get things underway, but in the meantime, while people get up to speed on the track, we'll take a look at the track. And right now, we are looking at Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile track, and we're going to be having stages at lap 20 and lap 50. It is a 100-lap race, and we are seeing some cool temperatures out there on track. 66 degrees right now on track and 66-degree air temp, so dead even. We're just getting to those twilight hours. The lights are coming on here at Auto Club Speedway, so we should see some great racing. How's it going there, Dakota? Hope you're having a good night and ready for a little bit of action. We have 15 cars on grid that I saw last. We might have one or two sneak in at the end to give us a little bit more, but we're going to get things rolling with, let's jump on board Chase Harden here. And we'll see how things shape up for one of our newcomers this week. We have quite a few that joined. Number 23 of Chase Harden is one of them. Casey Ellis on track tonight. 35 car here. We've seen Casey quite a few times. Chase Harden on a flying lap. This is his first flying lap of the qualifying session. All drivers have 10 minutes to qualify. Greg Pillar's out on track in his number 39 machine. 28 of George Buck in the 3M machine. He is out on track, getting up to speed. Looks like we have Chris Puff popping in here. We'll see our first timed lap in. Looks like it is Harden at a 40.06. And Harden is holding strong so far. Davey Hendricks in the 00 McDonald's machine. And we have only 8 100ths separating the two newcomers in Toyotas. Casey Ellis getting up to speed himself. Corey Buchanan's out on track in the number 19 coming out of the pits. Greg Pillar, see what he does for his first lap. And Pillar has a better first lap than the two newcomers. Pillar is going to be starting up near the front with that kind of pace. He's slowing down though. I wonder if he just did one lap and I don't know, he only did one lap. That's weird. Chase Harden finishes his. Hendricks, Harden gets a better lap. Harden is now our provisional pole leader. Davey Hendricks coming around for his second lap. He's going down the backstretch. Let's check Corey Buchanan and see where Corey is sitting. Corey currently does not have a timed lap in yet. We have Patrick Mitrovic out on track now. He's going to be starting his flying lap. And there goes Mitrovic. He has his first warm-up lap completed. He's going to be going for a good qualifying here. Casey Ellis in the grass. Oh no. Ooh, Mitrovic touches the wall ever so slightly. Buchanan sets the time, is in 5th. Horns is in 6th. But Casey Ellis getting 4th place before he goes sliding through the infield. And Mitrovic's here as you see him inside the car. Ooh, just a little bit high, and he's not going to have a great lap. He's probably going to want to... Ooh, yeah, he's slowing down. He might bail out and try and get another quick lap, but we'll see. Buchanan coming around. He's just holding a pretty good line, kind of that lower to inside. We'll see all sorts of lines here at Auto Club tonight. A very wide track as Buchanan moves up one spot into 5th place. Tommy Thompson's out on track in the number 7 machine. Noah Miller, one of our top 3 in the last race. I believe he ended up getting 2nd. Miller always up near the front of the pack at 3300 IR for those who are new to the sport or the game. Simulation, sorry. IR is your I rating. That is essentially how good you are according to the game. So he is quite a high number there at 3,300. Above average, I would say, for sure. As Noah Miller comes across the line, he goes down, dips down onto the apron to cut down that angle. He should be up near the front. Oh, he's only in 6th. Wow. Noah Miller normally is way down low, or way down low. I'm looking at where he is on track. He's normally way up high on top of that their timing tower. But we do have Chase Harden still running our fastest lap. Buchanan's in 5th. Pillar in 4th. Great run by Pillar. George Buck in 8th. Tommy Thompson 10th. Thompson goes up a couple positions. And Miller comes across, and Miller is up into 3rd. Only 5/100ths back from Harden. Harden, Hendricks, and Miller looking like they're going to be running side by side. They are all within just a tiny fraction of a second. And right now we have Tommy Thompson, who is finished with his run. David Guimond, who's in the middle of his run. Let's take a check-in with David. See how he is running in that number 66 Fabricator X machine, and he comes across. And Guimond, he improves his time, but not his position, does David. And pole in practice, Jason Heaney. He was running fantastic race last week. He ended up winning. But he is getting away from our screen there a little bit. He is looking to be our favorite from practice, at least, for a pole position. We are pretty far away from him. Let's take a look. Heaney is in 7th for right now. Gonna keep an eye on him. Trevor Binns and Garrett Streets right now. Streets currently in 12th, Binns in 11th. It's definitely a second lap kind of qualifying. You really have to get that second lap in for it to show up on the competent times. Most people have gotten a good second lap in, but a couple people that have not are looking like they're towards the bottom there. That's why they're about a second down. And Heaney comes across and goes up into 5th, but Binns jumps ahead of him into 4th. Trevor Binns beats out teammate Jason Heaney. Garrett Streets is still out there. Michael Giberson is getting his first lap down. He's just starting his hot lap, so we'll stay with Streets. Oh no, Streets is done with his. Giberson is the only one not to get a lap in. He is the 16th driver on the grid, so one more driver did sneak in on me here. We are coming to the end of qualifying. We're 8 minutes and 20 seconds in, so we shall have this last qualifier and then about a minute's time to kind of figure out where we have everybody sitting. And right now the 24 comes across, and he is in 13th place. Let's see what he ends up doing on his flying second lap, as Michael Giberson is really going to push that car as best he can. Let's see if we can't get a onboard view. We see a very cool helmet there, Star Wars theme. There we go, that's the camera we want. And coming up across the line, Giberson goes up to 8th position. So in our top 10 we have Harden, Hendricks, Forns, Giberson, and Streets, all new names to the Octane Outlaws. We had an influx of signups from drivers this past couple 24 hours. The drivers are expanding, we shall say, the driver count. We're happy to see we have quite a few new drivers in, and quite a few new faces that haven't raced in Octane Outlaws before and are coming over from another league, is what the word in the paddock is. We have a couple drivers that are admins of another league coming over here just to have a little bit of fun and, you know, racing something that they don't have to organize themselves, which I definitely feel you there. I mean, I'm an admin myself. The admins in Octane Outlaws, you know, we all put in so much effort to you know, make these things happen, and it's sometimes fun just to, you know, sit back, relax, and, you know, let everybody else do the work for once. But we have Chase Harden up in pole, Davey Hendricks in second, two of our new drivers, Noah Miller in third, Trevor Binns in fourth, Jason Heaney in fifth, Matt Forns in sixth, Greg Pillar in seventh, Michael Giberson in eighth, Corey Buchanan in ninth, Garrett Streets in 10th, Casey Ellis in 11th, Tommy Thompson in 12th. And I haven't had to do this for a few minutes, but we got to move down on the grid. Patrick Mitrovic in 14th, George Buck in 13th, David Guimont in 15th, Chris Puff in 16th. You can kind of see who had a bad second lap there, with Chris Puff, David Guimont, and Patrick Mitrovic all past that half-second mark. Patrick, we saw tap the wall. Guimont, we didn't see his qualifying lap, but we know David's normally a little farther up in the field. And Chris Puff, new to the Octane Outlaws, he must have had an incident of some sort. But we are ready. Are the drivers? That's the question. Harden will have the green flag for us when we go around. Just waiting for everybody to grid up and get the race underway. Justin Barkley says, hopefully I'll be joining next season. It would be great to have you, Justin. We will be watching for you. If you do feel like you want to join this season, you start getting the time too, then by all means, come on out, join. You know, we're open to signups. More cars the merrier. 16 cars on track right now, so we're in good shape for that. A few more than we had last week, but we are missing a few normal faces. Zachary Steele's out. We normally have Daniel from last week. Daniel Weber, I think it is. Oh my gosh, my mind is drawing a blank. But we normally have a few more drivers out. Let's see, trying to warm those tires up is Noah Miller in that number 8 machine. We have stages at lap 20 and lap 50. Give something for the drivers to keep an eye on. Is their fuel and their tires after that lap 50 mark? And that will give them something to think about. But here we go. Come to the start. And Chase Harden does hit the gas. Here we go. Green flag is out. And he gets a pretty good jump. On the outside, though, Davey Hendricks does have a good jump as well. Noah Miller right on the bumper there of Harden as we come into turn 1. Side by side is the field. And Harden kind of goes towards that middle line. Will be interesting to see who chooses the inside, who chooses the outside. And Harden is losing it already. Wow, he just got a little squirrely right out of the gates, and Hendricks and Miller are going to fight for it right out of the starting line here. Chase Harden falls back into 8th place. That is a big blow for him right out of the gates, but, you know, great job for Noah to hold steady. Davey Hendricks in the number 00 car to hold steady on the outside line and just, you you know, keep things rolling. We don't want to see cautions too early on here, as we have a bunch of drivers coming into the second lap. I think we're about 3 wide, maybe 4 wide in some instances, just because it was it's just such a wide track. I mean, you could fit 4 or 5 cars wide. You see all the lanes with the those black stripes there in the asphalt, and just all those lanes, you could fit at least a car in each one of those. 2 wide is what we go for the first 3 laps of any start or restart, at least purposefully. No throwing it 3 wide just cuz. But everybody holding fairly steady. A lot of drivers choosing that outside line. Heaney choosing the inside, I think, just trying to get up into the first place spot, which he does. He's up 4 spots from where he started. He you know, might be wearing those tires off a little early just to get the position, but once he gets out front and he has this clean air, he can ride that high line as much as he wants. But they are going to be going 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide here. It seems like these drivers are just using up every bit of the track as much as they can. Jason Heaney, though, our leader for the moment. Trevor Binn's teammate only a couple spots behind him. Ben Summerford said, "Go get him, number 3 and number 9. Number 3 and number 9 are both in podium positions this week." For those out there that are returning viewers, who is your favorite driver? Who you guys cheering for? Obviously, we have Ben cheering for Mr. Binns and Mr. Heaney, who are number 1 and 2 currently. We have a good shot of the pack coming around here. Some new names up front: Davey Hendricks, Matt Forns, plural. Matt Forns, Davey Hendricks, Chase Harden, who was our pole sitter, down in 7th. He at least got 1 position back. And keep an eye on him. We know he's fast, obviously, getting the pole position, but for him to have a little mishap like that right out of the gates, I wonder what his consistency is going to be like for the race. So we'll keep an eye on Mr. Harden. Great job running in a fairly tight group here from everybody. Our farthest back is Chris Puff, and we had a handful of drivers that have just kind of pulled back from the pack. And, you know, nothing wrong with that to start the race. We have 2 stages. Ooh, they're getting a little side-by-side action there from, looks like, David Guimont and Chris Puff. Excuse me, getting a little bit of a dryness in my throat. Hold on. So sorry about that. Just getting, like I said, a sip of water. A little dry spell there. Chris Puff catching up to David Guimont and George Buck. This little pack that we have going on here. We also have a 2-for-1 special here with Tommy Thompson and Patrick Mintervix, both running the PMP graphics liveries. And here they go. We'll keep an eye. It sounds like somebody's getting into somebody. We have some metal on metal sound. And look at this group. Very tight group here. Everybody's within you know, half second or so. Let's take a look at our gap. Right now, yeah, the top 10 are within a second of first. Holding strong too. I mean, nobody's getting away from each other. Everybody's kind of just hanging tight. I mean, this is technically a speedway. It's almost, you know, a super speedway with how big it is. You get a pretty good helping of draft down the straightaways, even in the corners. If you're going on that outside, it's almost like driving at the low line at Daytona. So you can really hold the throttle open here for the most part. A little bit of, you know, throttle release here and there. The angle of the incline is not nearly as large, so you don't get as much help with the G-forces holding you onto the track, but still a very wide, very big track to be driving on. Like I said, draft is definitely helping some of these drivers out. Corey Buchanan pushing up, trying to get by Noah Miller. Noah has dropped back a few positions here. He is now down 3 spots. Chase Harden down 6 from where he started. Davey Hendricks down 2. So it seems a couple of the drivers that were up front are having a little bit of trouble. Not sure if it is due to not sure if it's due to running in some of that clean open air, or what it is that has some of these drivers kind of dropping back from where they started. Maybe that, maybe a little bit of the draft, maybe, you know, some of these drivers are now starting to get comfortable with the track, and just their pace has improved to catch on up. But Jason Heaney still up front. Trevor Binns in second. Matt Forns, new name, up 3 positions from where he started. He is in third. And that is our running order for the moment. ...12 laps into the race, and the number 10 car. A very unique way of doing number 10 here from Matt Forns. He asked in the chat if it was okay to run the 10 as a Roman numeral X for his Air Jordan X car. And I don't think he got any objection from the admins, so he is running that number 10. The big X on the side. Very cool graphic, very cool car. Let's ride on board one of the new drivers here, Matt Forns. Let's get... Here we go. Matt running right up front there with these leaders. He's actually getting by Trevor Binns right now. Trevor Binns on the outside. We'll jump on board Trevor's car. And Trevor, you starting to get that little bit of a catch. You know, they have to let off their throttle, and then they can catch it back and just stomp on the gas again. Just want to be careful that you don't get on it too early, going too low. You'll take your back end out, kind of like Mr. Chase Harden did only a few turns into the race. And you see just how much that draft is helping out Matt Forns. He closes that gap in the turns very quickly. I'm not sure if, you know, wearing these tires off is going to be, you know, if they're even wearing off with how little they have to, you know, jump into the turn. As we see, big long line. At least 8 drivers back. And then you got Corey Buchanan making it 9. 9 cars back in a single line. Corey Buchanan trying to run in some open air here. Looks like, and he'll dive back in to the line, keep that speed up on that top line. But he is going to be looking to I don't know if he's going to have to cool that car or what. Ooh, Ellis getting a little loose. Ooh, Ellis goes down and slams the wall. What a big hit from Ellis. No caution, since it was a lone car crash. And that is not a fun way to get yourself thrown down. And now, ooh, we have a little bit of bumping going on here. That was between Forns and Harden. Harden has made his way back up. You're starting to see a couple of these drivers really sliding around. That 0-0 of Davey Hendricks, losing his rear end just a tiny bit. We saw Casey Ellis have that happen, and Casey is in the pits right now, getting fixed up. But some of these cars just barely losing that back end, as we see, I think that's Gipperson touching the wall in the back. So these tires, looks like they are wearing down just the tiniest bit. Jason Heaney holding very steady on that high line, you know, very little tire wear up there, and he is just pushing that car. Anybody losing their rear? Not on this go around, but you do have Davey Hendricks really looking to win the stage as he goes side by side. Does the tiniest little bump there on Jason Heaney, and Hendricks goes way down on the inside. Noah Miller has made his way back up as well, and Hendricks leads with Miller in second. Heaney is going to be hot on their tail, though. Heaney is not going to give up the position for stage one end that easily, as he throws himself down on the inside there. The 0-0 of Davey Hendricks, I don't think is going to be able to combat that. We'll see who gets it at the line for stage one. That is going to be at the end of this lap. You see Heaney falling back, not in a drafting position, and he's going to have to just hang on for the ride. And Noah Miller, is it going to be Miller or is it going to be Hendricks coming to the line? And right now it's looking like Hendricks, and yep, Hendricks is going to be the stage winner. Forns actually pushes him up a little bit and gets ahead of Miller. So Forns, I think, is going to be our second place for stage one. That was an exciting end to stage one. Hopefully the rest of the race is as close as that is, because that was very close all the way up the stage. And, you know, stage two hopefully is the same way. Oh wow, the truck's just plowing through people. We saw the looseness of the cars and how they started to just get a little bit squirrely towards the end of that stint. So 20 laps is what we'll be looking at for a little bit of loss of control, we'll say. Very cool metallic on that Air Jordan symbol in the back. And just like I would expect everybody after stage one coming into pit, the only one that might not, if I had to guess, would be Casey Ellis, who is one lap down. So Casey with that big slam into the wall, only one lap down. Chris Puff, not a lap down, and electing to stay out there. Not sure why. Casey Ellis, we know he just pit. You know, he's gonna be a little off from everybody else on his pit strategy for this first stop. But Chris Puff, not sure why Chris Puff is still out there. I wonder if he knows he has to pit. Puff being a new driver, you know, wonder if he knows. I heard it. I wonder if anybody else on the broadcast catch what I just caught. Let's see if we can see it on his, I think it is the, yeah, this one. You can hear him, he's in 5th gear, and he just kills the engine, coasts. So you might be trying to get to, you know, maybe a few laps into the second stage and then pit, whereas everybody else might have to pit during that second stage if he can pit during the end of this caution. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. Greg Pillar, though, gaining quite a few spaces. He goes up into second. Davey Hendricks, he's in third. Noah Miller 4th. Chase Harden 5th. Matt Forns in 6th. Trevor Binns in 7th. Where is Jason Heaney? What happened to Heaney? He's just coming out of the pits now. Let's check our software. See if anybody got a... Oh, Jason Heaney and Trevor Binns. It shows a little bit of contact there. Let's see. Maybe they bumped in the pit lane? Let's see if we can. We'll watch Jason's pit lane here, and oh, you see him going past. That's never fun. Maybe he didn't go past. He might have just hit the hooks too early. Oh, that's what happened. He got turned around. And here, let's back up a tiny bit more. The Heaney in here. Oh, and he... I mean, that's very unfortunate. Binns is right there going into his pit box. And Heaney is trying to get into his pit box, and Heaney gets himself turned around. He, you know, is trying to get himself the right way. Not doing a 20-point turn, but he is going again. Did we already miss the start of the race? Chris Puff has the start, and he goes up high. Wow, things went really fast. We normally have time to check out a couple replays there. Admins must have skipped a couple of the safety car laps. But we are going again. Davey Hendricks back up into first. Chase Harden in third. Chris Puff is up 14 positions. Not sure what Puff was doing. Maybe he's saving fuel. Maybe he's saving, you know, tires. You might be trying to do a really long run and just get himself up into the top positions. We'll see what the mystery strategy here is for Mr. Puff. I know I had asked it before. But I didn't get permission, but to you know, make some Mrs. Puff jokes from SpongeBob. But Chris Puff, he's dropping back. You can tell he's got some worn tires. Starting to fall back to these drivers up front. Trying to keep the momentum alive while he's up there. Going to be low on fuel as well. A great run so far. We've been green every lap except for our stage caution, so doing a great job of keeping the cars going in the right direction. Casey Ellis is going to be happy. He's back on the main lap. Not happy he had to use his fast repair, I'm sure, but he's still ahead of Tommy Thompson, David Guimond. George Buck is in the pits for some reason. Didn't quite catch why. Let's see if we can find where George Buck had an incident. And I do not see an incident from George Buck, so not quite sure what happened there. Chris Puff is now into the pit lane, so he must be hoping to go the distance of the second stint, whereas everybody else might have to. Ooh, and he has to back up. Everybody else might have to give themselves a little bit of a splash and dash. Maybe get tires at the end of this stint. All depends on how much fuel these guys are using. Davey Hendricks being out front might be using, you know, fractionally more than the cars that are in behind his slipstream, and that might be part of Noah Miller's strategy. That might be part of Garrett Street's strategy, just to hang in tight behind the leader and let him just plow the way through that open air in the front. Miller, he's going down low saying, hey, nope, I want that first place spot. Don't mind if I do. I will take it from you. Thank you. Might use a little bit of tire life, but I am here. I'm going to be leading the race. Thank you, Mr. Harden. Wow, 4 wide. Coming across the line. This will be a fun one to end on. This will be a fun race, and second place could be eight different cars, really. Right now, the battle is between Miller and Harden up front. Forns, Bins fighting behind. Number 15 of Garrett Streets, he's also fighting right there. Ooh, gets a little bit of a bump on the 00 car. Davey Hendricks just, you know, everybody's just trying to hold on and keep themselves in a spot to make a move at the end. You have Elizabeth saying, "Let's go, Noah." Noah recently graduating. So congratulations to Noah, who is our race leader currently. Crazy to think it's that time of year. Graduations are happening, summer breaks starting to go on. Unfortunately, that means a little bit lower numbers for iRacing and iRacing leagues, but that means people are out having fun in the sun, going to sporting events, going out and you know, going to graduations and having cookouts and barbecues and hanging out with the family, going wherever families are going. That's part of the NASCAR culture as well, is the infield fun that everybody has with all the cookouts and the, you know, the, we'll say, adult beverages. Keep it clean here on the stream. You know, just everybody able to go and have a good time at these NASCAR events. Ooh, if Bins gets a little bit wide, and Bins is able to hold it. Wow, what a recovery from Bins, not to take out everybody, and what a way for everybody else to hold on. Ooh, and looks like Bins getting passed by Guimond down there. Bins, wow, way to hold that car straight. I do have to watch that back. That was quite... You just see it, he just gets wide, Tokyo Drift style here. And that is crazy to see. Let's see if we can't get a little bit better. And this is Bins. As you see him get bumped. I'll actually hit the play button here. Okay, was going into this next corner. And we can see Bins getting tapped right there on the inner quarter panel. And just whew, gets loose. Gets it back under him. Gets tapped again by the 15. Gets loose again. And it's just straight Tokyo Drift from there. Bins holding it high so then everybody else could get by. And then he just keeps it going. Wow, great job, Trevor. We jump back in with that front pack. At Forns, Noah Miller, Davey Hendricks, Chase Harden. Any one of them could win this race. Patrick Mitrovic's right up there in the fray. I'm not quite sure where he popped out of. Must have had a good pit stop and has been just hanging tight in this pack, because he was farther back when that first stage ended. I know he had a little bit of trouble in qualifying, but doing a great job to make his way up in the field into 5th place. He's kind of the leader of the secondary pack, but still within drafting of the first 4. Keeping that high line seems to be helping. And his teammate, Corey Buchanan, behind him is going to be looking to try and maybe give him a little bit of push. See if these two can get themselves together, as Mitrovic's really holding high and just keeping that speed way up. Great job by Patrick. Closing in. Pinball bins. Yeah, Trevor really held on there. We were super impressed with that. How he was just able to hold it together, do a little bit of, like I said, some Tokyo drift. But all in all, we're still doing a fantastic race. Still green. Lap 36 of 100. We'll be hitting a stage at lap 50, just as a reminder to everybody. And right now, the 00, Davey Hendricks is leading, one of our newer drivers to Octane Outlaws. We have quite a few kind of sprinkled in here. Davey Hendricks is 1, Matt Forns in 3rd. He is another. Garrett Streets is another. Chase Harden is another. So our top 5 have 3 new names. 4 new names. Noah Miller's the only familiar top 5 car right now. Still wondering where Jason Heaney is. He's pretty far back there. He's been he had a bad pit stop. Not even a bad pit stop. He just had an unfortunate bump into pit lanes from his teammate Trevor. Oh, there we go. Oh, number 23 coming back onto the track. Oh, hopefully everybody can avoid him. Harden going off very, very aggressively. Looks like he just caught a little bit of a quarter panel somewhere. Let's see what we got going on here. You can kind of see it there. Let's see if we can't find. Let's see what happened here. Chase Harden's just up high. You can see that 23 machine. And he just... Does he get into the side of the 15? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's running clean. Oh, the 15 might get a little bit of net code. That or 15 actually bumped him. That might be a little net code because he seemed like he was a few inches away, and then yeah, he just gets thrown. 15 doesn't pick up any damage. Number 23 gets thrown to the inside, holding the brake, and then he just smacks the wall. Completely destroying the front end of that car. There it goes. There's the front end. And flipping over into the racing line, which is never fun. But we do have drivers in the pit lane right now. Noah Miller. Davey Hendricks is still out. Forns is out. Streets is out. Giberson, Mitrovic, Buchanan, Binns, and Guimont staying out. No Miller's in. Tommy Thompson's in. Casey Ellis is in. Jason Heaney is in. Pillar's in. Harden is in. And George Buck is in. Chris Puff is also staying out, getting that lucky dog. He's going to be thrown around back to the main lap. And right now, everybody except for George Buck and Chase Harden are on the main lap. Chase Harden, that big incident, I would only assume that he had the fast repair checked, but does not look like it, because he is still sitting in the pits with repairs being done. We have a bunch of cars coming out. Jason Heaney's still in the pits. I think he's getting some repairs done from that first incident. Might not have wanted to use that fast repair since it was, you know, just a little bit of a bump. So just banging out a little bit of the metal. Davey Hendricks right now. Got Matt Forns right behind him. Garrett Streets right behind him. Top 4 are new drivers. Great seeing some new faces up front. Like Jason Heaney is out. He has been released. And lights are off on the pace truck. So we will only be going around this one more time. Coming to the backstretch here. Harden still in the pits. Hendricks leading. You'll have the green flag. We'll take a nice little sip while we wait for these cars to get around the last corner here. And right now, like I said, very clean race. I think that was a little bit of net code. We might look at it at the end. But looks like Harden is out of the pits. He's going to be getting moving for the beginning of this race.
Green, green, green.
They are green. Harden comes to the back of the pack and does a very good job. I will say, Harden, fantastic job not to just try and blow by the entire pack. Hendricks gets a good jump. Horns in second. Streets down low, taking second place. Horns in third. Giverson fourth. Mitrovic fifth. And we have 8 laps until we are back to another stage yellow. And I can only imagine the cars that didn't pit the first time around are going to pit at the end of the stage. Now, I can only imagine this race is going to be almost like a Daytona or a Chris Puff into the pits. A Daytona or a Talladega, you know, something like that, where it's just wide open racing and you get that little bit of a draft coming to the line, you know, coming down the backstretch, you have a little bit of draft. It's going to be a fun one to end, you know, with all this, the drafting we got, with all the different strategies we have, especially with a couple cautions plus the stages. It's going to make for some interesting, ooh, a blinker in Garrett Street. It's gonna make for some interesting finishes here. We have Chris Puff out of the pits. Oh, head of the leaders there, only 1 lap down. Let's see where these drivers are on track. 2 laps down for Harden. Puff is technically not a lap down. They're getting close to him. They're catching him, but Puff is technically not a lap down yet. He can keep himself from being a lap down, which would be fantastic for himself. But these leaders are very quick. And Puff is going to have a hard time keeping him off his back with the drafting. And a little bit of push from the back that the leaders are getting from the likes of Streets, Miller, and Giverson. Let's check in the middle of the pack. Mitrovic's leading Ellis, Heaney, Thompson. Guimond, Pillar, and Puff, who is right up there by the leaders. Harden is out there. He's in the mix. He's gonna have to, you know, hope for a couple cautions, get himself back on the main lap. If Puff doesn't get past here, then Harden will be the lucky dog. So he'll get a nice little free pass anyway. Well, we see a lead change in Noah Miller. And he's coming up behind Puff. Puff is just, you know, he's running his own race, doing his own strategy. But, you know, just right there in the mix with the leaders. Trying to keep himself on that main lap so he doesn't need to use up a lucky dog. I mean, either way, it wouldn't matter for him. He's going to get sent around anyway, but... Interesting to see Puff right there in the mix. Going about the same speed. You know, he's not dropping back too quick. Just trying to hold himself together while this pack goes by him. Interesting to see these drivers just, you know, casually going 3 wide every so often. Casually going 4 wide. I think it's nothing here at Auto Club Speedway. But we are going to do a quick little crank it up right before our stage caution for a lap or so. So, you heard it. Crank it up, guys. And that will bring us to the end of the stage. It's always fun doing a nice little crank it up segment there. I should get some visuals to go along with that for you guys. A nice little crank it up text that comes across the screen and flashes or something. Wonder if we can make that work. In any case, Hendricks takes the second stage, Miller in second for that stage, Matt Forns in third for the stage, Corey Buchanan in fourth, Michael Giberson in fifth. So the field is all sorts of mixed up, and, you know, drivers are up and down and all over the place. Trevor Binns is down 2 spots. Jason Heaney is down 4. Greg Pillar's down 5. Chase Harden down 14 spots, unfortunately, from his pole position. And George Buck is down 3 spots from where he started. So, not the best day for everybody. Davey Hendricks has Miller right on his tail. Ooh, big lag spike there for me. So sorry, guys, for that. I will say, I said it to the admins. I didn't say it to you guys. I've been experiencing some really bad storms in my area. And here we go. Davey Hendricks getting right tires, looks like. Left tires. Let's see who's out of the pit lane first, and that is Tommy Thompson's out first. So Hendricks beats Miller. And we have Mitrovic's out quick, Forns out, Buchanan out, Heaney out, Casey Ellis. Yeah, let's show our standing order as of right now. Great pit stop there from Mitrovic. Somebody spinning around in the pits. Looks like that might be Garrett Streets. A little excited on the throttle there and just turns the car around right out of the pit lane. Trevor Binns coming out, and looks like Giberson is still in the pits along with Chris Puff. Giberson there. Puff is coming into the pits right now. So Giberson coming out, Puff coming in. Puff is going to be, you know, trying to keep himself on that main lap. Getting that lucky dog. Hopefully he gets his pit stop done before the pace car comes around. We can see it there in the distance. He does. Looks like Puff is gonna make it. I feel like I'm watching the movie Cars, where he's got to make it out before the pit, out of the pit before the pace car gets by. What silliness! But he's gonna be coming around, and Davey Hendricks is our leader, and we'll have our green flag. No, Miller currently second. Looks like Forns and Mitrovic are third and fourth. Mitrovic's up high in that second row, so yep, he's in fourth. Heaney on the inside, Buchanan right behind his teammate Mitrovic, and then Casey Ellis on the inside, Greg Pillar on the outside of the fourth row. Man, some great racing overall from everybody. That purple machine of the 00 Davey Hendricks. He will have our race start. This will be the last stage start that we get. In goes the pace car, pace truck rather, and here we go. We are green in the Geico start zone, and Davey Hendricks gets a good jump. We should see that gap close down fairly quickly, as we are at a big drafting super speedway. We might as well call it a super speedway. It's 2 miles long. These guys can basically hold it wide open. You have to let off a little bit, but not like other tracks. Miller going for a really quick attack here on the inside of Davey Hendricks, and Miller's going to take the lead fairly quickly. He might try to burn these tires off, try and make a gap of some sort to the cars behind him. Noah Miller, though, getting a quarter second ahead of Hendricks. That draft doesn't help his cause going down the straightaways. Miller holding first, Hendricks in second. Looks like Heaney has made his way back up into the top few spots after he got turned around in the pit lane by his teammate. But as of right now, Heaney holding strong in third. Mitrovic's up there. Like I said, he was up there earlier on. Kind of has made his way from the back. He's up 10 spots from where he started. Doing a fantastic job of keeping up with the leaders here. Not a small task. These drivers are really quick. Jason, we have seen be very quick. Miller, very quick each and every week. Hendricks, no idea since he's a new driver. Horns, I could say the same. New driver, Street's new driver. So we know Patrick's got the speed to keep up with them. Let's see if he can maintain that and stay within striking distance of a win or even a podium. Ellis, we see falling back. Having a hard time in the corners here. I feel like more and more drivers are burning these tires off and just pushing in this initial part of the stage. A lot of drivers kind of that low to mid line rather than the low line. Some good looking cars, some, like I said, new cars. Oh no, and we are wrecking. These cars aren't looking too good anymore with some bent up wheels and missing bumpers. Wow, what a little wreck we had going on there. I was looking at the cars kind of towards the back. Looks like, let's see who was involved in that. Who does it say was the wreck? So it doesn't. So our yellow flag comes out. Technically doesn't show that anybody crashed, so jump on board. We'll go half speed. Like that might be it there, that little bump. And yeah, it's Mitrovic's. It looks like maybe bumping the rear end of the 00. And then yeah, Mitrovic's comes down slightly because he has nowhere else to go, and that just sends the 15 around. Mitrovic's has to hit the brakes. That hits Thompson into the back of Buchanan. Buchanan comes flying off the track. The number 10 of Matt Forens goes flying off the track. So not a great run right there. A little bit of damage. Most of these drivers are going to be able to use their fast repairs and get back, you know, just going things as normal, just a little bit farther back than where they were. Miller coming in. Not sure if he had damage. Miller was up front. I didn't see Miller get collected up. He's just, oh yeah, Miller's just fueling, hoping to get to the end on what he has. He might be looking to save a little bit. That's 40 laps he has to go. That is going to be a tall task for him. But Miller in 5th, it's showing. There are only 4 cars out on track. Yeah, there really are only 4 cars out on track right now ahead of him. Buck is a lapped car, which is, you know, in between him. Yep, in between Miller and Puff. Puff out there up in top 4 somehow. Puff's been, you know, doing his own strategy, you know, keeping to his own plans, but it's now paying off for him. He's up in the top 4. He's on the main lap. He was battling just to stay on the main lap, you know, at the end of the last stint because he had taken a pit stop early. So, you know, it just it goes to show Puff is probably going to have a pretty good chance at finishing in the top 5 here. All based on strategy. And into the pits goes Streets. And it looks like he, I don't know if he has damage on that front right side. It looks like he might, can kind of see into that engine cavity there underneath the hood. That might just be a reflection, but we'll see if he gets repaired. He might be doing a splash and dash as well. Yep, repaired. You saw the kinks kind of be knocked out there real fast. And there he goes. No tires, just fuel. And off he goes. Streets is currently sitting 13th. Buck is still 3 laps down. Ellis and Guimont are out. And you could probably guess that everybody's doing what Streets is doing. He's just coasting. Coasting to the back of the cars behind him. You can see in 2nd gear. Letting those RPMs run down. Heaney up front. Lights are out on the pace car, so we are going green this time by. Heaney hits the gas. We are green here. Back underway at Auto Club Speedway. Heaney gets a great jump. Gipperson in second, Pillar in third, Miller in third now. After Miller did a great job of doing a splash and dash and getting back out on the track. So he has more fuel than anybody else that you know has him pit. But he's still up near the front where the drivers who just kept out on track for track position. So fantastic job of Miller. He's up in second right now. Might be able to make it to the end. We're gonna see. And he is pushing behind Jason Heaney. Cars just kind of all over the place when it comes to position. Heaney's up 4 spots. Gipperson's up 5 spots. Hendricks is down 4 spots from where he started. Puff is up 9 spots. Trevor Binns is down 6 spots. Harden is down 11 spots. Ellis is down 5. Buck is down 2. He's still hanging in there. Still out on track having fun. Out of the pits comes not Casey Ellis. David Guimond is back out, so he's down 3 laps, just like George Buck. But quite a few drivers that are out of position. They're a little farther back than where they started. A lot of drivers up from where they started, so good news for a good majority of the field. But we saw this last week, Heaney and Miller fighting. Daniel Butler last week was a little bit of help for Heaney, coming in third, and Miller not being able to chase down Heaney. But we are 64 laps into this 100-lap race. And right now, looking like Heaney is going to, you know, unless anything happens in the pit lane again, Heaney's going to really hold his position on that high line and just keep that foot down, keep it going. Lap times in the low 39s. This is kind of what we saw in qualifying. Tires will wear out here. Not as fast as some of the 1.5 mile tracks, but you know, being 2 miles, a wide track, it gives you a lot of room to make these tires last. Heaney's really trying to make them last while also trying to keep Noah Miller at bay. Let's see what other battles we got going on track. I mean, honestly, all the way back to Tommy Thompson. Tommy Thompson shows 3 seconds back from our leader, but everybody is within at least a half a second of each other. All the way back to Tommy, who's the last one on the lead lap. So all our lead lap drivers are within a half second of each other, trying to run each other down. Anybody could really win this race. There could be a big wreck, and you know, Trevor Binns down in 13th flies up through the field and avoids everything. There could be something that happens that allows Buchanan to jump up, that allows Harden to push his way back up to the front. A pit stop, a black flag. You know, most of these drivers are going to have to do one more pit stop by the end of this race, and it could be something like a black flag going into the pits. We saw that with a couple drivers throughout the season coming into the pits, really trying to keep their lead, trying to get a good pit stop and just slide through that pit entry at a little bit too high of a speed. A couple miles an hour is all it takes here on the iRacing service, and then you're done. You're, you know, speeding into pits. You get I believe a drive-through at least, if not an end of line, and if not a 40-second time penalty. I know it used to be a 40-second time penalty. It's bitten me a couple times, you know, just trying to really hold on. Oh wow, what are we doing here? Jason Heaney thinks we're driving IndyCar. I know it is the Indy 500 this weekend, real life, but that's not what you do, sir. These cars aren't so aerodynamic to allow you to weave back and forth without losing significant speed. And we'll see if he tries it again. I mean, it is kind of like driving a big old brick down the road. Not very aerodynamic, and you know, they do have some downforce, you know, with that rear spoiler and the rear diffuser on the bottom side, but you know, weaving back and forth, it takes a lot of speed out of the car. Just trying to break that toe. If he can break that toe from Forens and Miller, then you know, that might be something that helps him get a little bit ahead. But if Forens and Miller work together, like it seems like they are, you know, Miller right on the backside of Forens, if Miller's able to push Forens forward, not only in the turns but down those straightaways especially, then you know they're gonna catch Heaney, and then Heaney's weaving is gonna be for naught. Yeah, it looks like he's really pushing that down low line. He's pushing those tires, keeping himself going. He's gonna eventually hit a spot to where he tries to hit the accelerator coming out of a turn, and his rear end's gonna say nope, see you later, and he's just gonna not have that grip. It's gonna be gone, and at that point we'll see Heaney come in for a pit stop. Hopefully it is a nice, like I said, scheduled pit stop that is not a black flag. We've seen too many leaders or top 3 contenders get black flagged for speeding in the pits. But we are going to crank it up for just a moment while I get myself a sip of water, because talking to you folks dries out the throat. And as we are coming to the end of our Crank It Up segment, we have Matt Forens, David Hendricks, Michael Giberson, and Chase Harden. I believe these guys are all teammates coming into the pit lane. And they're all under a green flag pit stop. Forens gets a good stop. Hendricks, see if he gets a good stop. He does. Harden, he's getting a good stop. Getting right tires for sure. Left tires going on for him as well. Looks like Giberson's out. Harden's out. Hendricks is out. All these drivers coming in. Let's see if anybody else decides that they want to come in. Miller, we saw top off on fuel before he was able to before he went into the pits, so, or after that caution, he went into the pits, got a top off of fuel. That's a splash and dash, kept going, and came out and is in second. He's got more fuel than anybody else. Let's look at our pit strategy here. Here it is. Pit strategy. See, Heaney pitted 24 laps ago. Miller has 8 laps more of fuel. Buchanan has the same. He's in third. So depends on what they plan on doing here. If they can make it to the end, another 15 laps, make it, that'd only be 31 laps. I believe they might be able to make it to the end. Pillar's gonna have to pit again. Streets is gonna have to pit again. Yeah, we should be able to make it. Streets had a 30 lap stint, couple 30 lap stints from Mitrovic's bins. So right now we're on lap 16 out of the pits from Miller and Buchanan. Same for Streets, Thompson, Mitrovic, and Bins. If they can all keep themselves out on these tires for the remaining... Oh, it's 25 laps to go. My bad, my bad. So that would be 40. So that would be pushing it. I don't think they're going to make it 40 laps. They might have to do a slash and dash, which, you know, you would think Miller would go in whenever Heaney goes in. So we'll see when Jason Heaney goes in. If it's in 5 laps time, you know, once he runs out of fuel, or if he's going to try and push and see how far he can go. Corey Buchanan comes down into the pit lane. And right now he is in the pits. Doing a good job. Keeping his speed down. And so far... does not look like anybody's gotten black flags for the pits. In come a bunch of drivers. Buchanan's in, getting right tires for sure. See if he just gets those rights. Oh no, it looks like Puff might have overshot his pit stop. Yeah, he did. He definitely did. He was waiting for the crew to start working, but didn't. Mitrovic's coming out. Buchanan out ahead of him. Now we start seeing Bins, Miller, and Heaney coming in. Like I said, Miller might be holding off for Heaney. Come on in. Pillar is still out there, 27 laps on his current fuel load. Thompson 19 and Streets 18. We see Heaney getting tires as well. Miller getting tires. We'll keep both these drivers in our view. And Miller gets a much better stop. He is out. Bins is in. Heaney is just getting moving now. And Streets coming around. Miller might be able to grab onto the back of these drivers. Ooh, Miller a little squirrely, trying to keep up as much speed as he can on that apron. Wow. And Miller is going to have the leader, Garrett Streets, coming up very shortly. Pillar is into the pits. But Garrett Streets is going to be coming up. He might be able to pick up a little bit of a draft if Streets can catch up to him. I'm not sure if he can. Noah Miller, our provisional leader as of right now. Streets and Thompson still have to pit. Noah Miller's in third. Greg Pillar's in now. They're coming out of the pits now. But as it sits, it's going to be Miller, Forns, Hendricks, Heaney, Harden. And right now it is I think they're starting to, you know, show who's got the strategy down a little bit better, who's, you know, was thinking ahead just that little bit more. Like we saw, Miller did a splash and dash on the one caution, and it didn't cost him a whole lot of time. It didn't cost him a whole lot of track position. The only one that didn't go down was Jason Heaney, and Heaney seemed to be having trouble there at the end, whereas Miller didn't have to worry about not pushing. He had the fuel to do so. So we'll see. Miller 2.9 seconds ahead of Forns, who is in provisional second place here. Miller just putting down some scorcher laps here. He's just trying to keep these drivers back and at bay. 2.7 seconds back is Forns. Hendricks right behind him, 1.5 seconds back from Forns, and Heaney's right on his tail. If anybody's going to be making a push, it's going to be Heaney and Hendricks pushing up to Forns, and then those three pushing up to Miller. Harden is a little ways back, kind of on his own, and then Gibson, Buchanan, Pillar, Bins, and Mitrovic. Everybody kind of spread out with that pit stop, so unless something crazy happens on a caution, then I think these top few are going to be racing each other towards the end, because Forns is catching Miller, and Hendricks and Heaney are catching Forns, so it's It's looking like they're going to be coming together maybe in the next 10 laps or so. All four of the top drivers, maybe even Chase Harden. Yeah, Chase Harden's putting in some scorchers as well. Closing that gap up to 1.8. Let's pop up our timing tower here. Remember, Streets and Thompson all have to pit. The rest of the drivers that are 32, 35, 36, 36, 38, and 39 seconds are all going to be fighting for that win. And Miller has put himself in a fantastic position. Side by side is Hendricks and Harden. I mean, listen, I know you've been racing each other all race long. You know, you're pushing hard. You're starting to close in on the guy ahead, but you guys got to work together. The more you work together, the faster you're going to get up to Noah Miller and Matt Fornes right in front of you here. Once they get into that draft to Matt Fornes down the back straights, they're going to be, you know, right up behind him in no time. So you got to make up about a half a second, maybe 0.4 seconds to get yourself on up there. And Chase Harden, he's doing that. He's 1.6 seconds back right now from David Hendricks and Jason Heaney. Struggling right now to do it on the outside, so he's going to do it on the inside. He's only 1.5 seconds back now on that inside line. Garrett Streets comes in. He's got a pit, get some more fuel. He's probably going to just do a splash and dash. We only got 15 laps to go. Tommy Thompson leading our race, but we know that it's not going to be for very long. Thompson needs to do his pit stop and then get back up to speed. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is a nice feeling to be out in first, even for a short little while. Get you a little taste of being the front runner for a while. Tommy Thompson here. Oh, Tommy's running fairly, like, I don't want to say lax, but he's running kind of off the throttle. But let's check in on his cockpit. See if he's got any specialty things up his sleeve. We've seen Martin Roberg did this in one of the races. And Thompson, he's trying to fuel save. Thompson is trying to fuel save. Either that or he's coming into the pits now. Oh, he's coming into the pits now. We saw Roberg fuel save and made up about 5 to 6, maybe even 10 laps of fuel. More than anybody else, just because he was able to fuel save a tremendous amount. I forget which track we were at, but Thompson in. He's going to get passed by Miller. Coming around turn number 3, it looks like right now, into 4. And then down the straightaway. Miller will be passing Tommy Thompson, who's actually on the move. You know, respectable pit stop there from Thompson. And Miller up to first, getting chased by Fornes, who is within 1.1 seconds. And then behind is Heaney. You can see him right in the background there. Heaney and Hendricks right in the rearview mirror of Fornes. And then the pole sitter, Chase Harden, right behind them. All closing the gap. All going to be coming together here within probably the next 5 laps or so. I believe we should see the top 5 to 6 drivers all together in a pack. Right now, still being led by Noah Miller. I know the Noah Miller fans right now are really probably just yelling at the TV saying, come on, Noah, hold in there, keep that gap up to at least a second. You want to at least stay a second at these really fast super speedway-esque tracks, just because once you get within that second, that car behind you starts to benefit from the draft. So a caution or them getting within a second, that will be that'll be the killer for Miller's lead. You can see Hendricks and Heaney right behind. Harden pulling away a little bit, but yeah, Davey Hendricks, they're just playing the long game. Another 10 laps to go. This is where it starts to get intense. These drivers are going to say, you know, I got to start using these tires. I can't make them last forever, so I might as well start burning them up just a little bit. Harden still closing. He's within a second. No, he's within 3 seconds of Hendricks. These top drivers, Forns within 1.6 of Miller, but Forns, Heaney, and Hendricks are going to have to work together to try and take down Noah Miller. Can they figure it out? Heaney and Forns still, they're... It was Heaney and Hendricks and Heaney and Forns. They're, you know, just swapping inside to outside, up and down. They're kind of fighting over second, whereas if they were working together, they could be fighting for the lead. 9 laps to go. 100 lap race, Auto Club Speedway. Noah Miller out front, Jason Heaney in second, Matt Forns in third. That is as it sits. And I would be lying if I said I was not nervous to see how this one's gonna end. If not for the leader, at least for, you know, for second place, Heaney has Forns and Hendricks right in his pocket, and they're going to be benefiting from that little bit of draft that you get here at Auto Club. We have Guimont down in the pits. Heaney is really pushing, getting to within 1.5 seconds of Miller. And Heaney, wow, really taking that gap down. He loses it on the exit. Ooh, and that is Forns touching a wall in the background there. Let's see. And we pop up our battle box. It is not liking me on the battle box, so we're just going to get it out of the picture. Right now, you got these 3 cars. They might be able to push a little bit to try and get themselves up to Miller. Miller's still holding strong. Heaney's trying everything he can, throwing that car way down on the inside, using up every last bit of tire that he has, but that might open it up for Davey Hendricks or Matt Forns right behind to make a move here at the end and take second place. Chase Harden closing the gap as well. He's only 2.7 seconds back. He was 3.5. He's taking Corey Buchanan with him too, and Corey is he's hungry for a race win or a top 3. I'm sure Corey would be thrilled about a podium. We'll see how this ends. This is going to be exciting. A little bit of stutter going on there. Like I said, I'm hoping that my internet does not go out. Storms in the area, and we're 4 to go. That would be some terrible luck, wouldn't it? Yeah, we're struggling. I will say we're struggling here, guys. Getting some bumps in the road on the old internet side. Sorry for our technical difficulties, but we're going, we're moving. Noah is still out front. Jason Heaney holding on to his second place. Hendricks right behind him. Might be conserving a little bit to try and make a move here 2 laps to go, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch up to Miller without getting into his draft, so not sure if Heaney has anything for him. Bourne's getting by, looks like a slow David Guimon. Yep, he's just letting him by, going down to the inside. Miller flying. That throttle wide open. Heaney doing everything he can. Jump on board Heaney here for a second. And as you see, Heaney's doing that real low line, trying to make up as much time as he can. And you see now it's starting to really wear on him. Those tires are just not having it. Final lap here, Noah Miller flying by. Unless something happens to Miller here in the next couple of turns, he's going to be our race winner. You see Heaney right behind him, 1.5 seconds, and Hendricks right behind him. We're going to watch Hendricks and Heaney battle it out here at the end. Miller coming across the line in just a few seconds here, and we have our race winner, Noah Miller. Congrats, bud. You just won Auto Club. Jason Heaney comes across in second. David Hendricks in third. Matt Forns in fourth. Harden in fifth. Buchanan in sixth. Gibertson in seventh. Garrett Streets, ooh, coming to the end here. A little bit of action. Streets, Pillar, and Binns all fighting for the 8th place spot. Mitrovic comes across in 11th. And then Tommy Thompson in 12th. Chris Puff coming across. He will end up in 13th. George Buckner Dumont in 14th, 15th. And Ellis in 16th. Not finishing the race due to some incidents. What an exciting one. That was quite fun to watch. Here we have donuts by the man himself, Noah Miller. And that is going to do it for us here. Noah Miller. I think his car might be toast there. Might be. He's just kind of blankly staring off into the sunset. But Noah Miller taking the race win here. Let's take a look and see who ended up on top. Noah Miller is our race winner. Jason Heaney in second. David Hendricks in third. Matt Forns in fourth. Chase Harden in fifth. Corey Buchanan in sixth. Michael Giberson in 7th, Garrett Streets in 8th, Greg Pillar in 9th, Trevor Binns in 10th, Patrick Mitrovic in 11th, Tommy Thompson in 12th, Chris Puff in 13th, George Buck in 14th, David Guimon in 15th, Casey Ellis in 16th. And that is going to wrap it up. Elizabeth says, yay, Noah. Yep, a great win there for Noah. We are happy to see him up on the podium spots again. We're going to try and do interviews. I know my internet has been a little bit laggy today. So we will go ahead and try to make this happen. All right, let's bring Hendrix into the booth with us. All right, Davey, do I have you down there in the 00 car?
Yes.
Awesome to hear. Great race. Ran up front almost the entire time. 00 car was frequent on the broadcast here. Seeing a lot of action going on with you and Noah and Jason, and a couple of the other new guys. So it was cool to see you up front as a newer driver for us here in the Octane Outlaws. What was the strategy coming into the race today?
Don't hit people, and that was about it.
That's always
I
a
didn't
good
want my
strategy.
first race to be like running people over.
Well, it paid off because third position is where you finished. Did you and the teammates have any strategy between you guys to try and get yourselves up into those top 5, top 10 positions?
Not really. We other than like restarting, helping each other on restarts, we were just kind of all doing our own thing. Run our own lines, saving tires how we felt we needed to. But really, at a track this big, where drafting was such a big deal, just trying to plan our restarts so we could kind of stay together as much as we could.
Yep. Yeah, it was a really good pit stop there for Noah Miller that got him probably about 8 seconds, I want to say, ahead of the rest of the field. That dwindled down to about 1.5 seconds, 1.4 seconds at the end. But, what do you think you could have done better to get up to that fight at the end for Noah Miller?
Not have gotten run over. I pitted a lot earlier than I wanted to, but my car was damaged from getting hit and that wreck that happened. So I felt I had to pit to take the fast repair to try and fix whatever aero damage I had. I felt like had that not been the case, and I had been, because when I pitted, I was way behind the leaders, and I was already kind of working myself out of a hole. My tires were a lot older than I would have wanted. But I don't know. I mean, overall, I think I did good considering how far I had fallen from after that wreck kind of messed with the car. I don't know if his tire strategy was on purpose or by mistake, but either way, it worked because not even the 9 caught him.
Yep. Yeah. Jason was running some great laps in practice. He had the fastest in practice time, and then he just was able to keep him at about 1.5 seconds that entire last 10 laps. So great job by Noah, but fantastic job from yourself. We'll let you go celebrate with the team. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go, though?
All my teammates that have come over with me over here, all the admins that put this on, I appreciate them taking the time for it. Everyone watching, and you in the booth, and that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the praise. We will hopefully see you again here on the podium in future races here in the Octane Outlaws. But like I said, go celebrate with the team, and have a great rest of the weekend.
Yep, appreciate it.
That was Davey Hendrix in the number 00 car. Next, we are going to have Jason Heaney in the booth with us here. Jason, do I got you down there in the number 9 car?
Yes, sir.
Another podium spot. We're seeing you frequently in the booth now. Great race there. What happened at the end? Why were you not able to run down Noah Miller?
Man, you gotta have help. And him and I were we pitted on the same lap. So now at the end of the race, he told me he only took right sides instead of 4. We were gonna pit together and kind of stay together. What was the plan? But he only took 2 to my 4. It was a mistake, so he got out ahead of me by like 3.5, 4 seconds, and I mean, I'm surprised I made up as much as I did, but I was using my stuff up. I was running qualifying laps that whole last stint, and I was breaking even with him when I got within a second and a half. I needed 1.2. I think you start to feel the draft a little bit. I just couldn't get to that barrier, and gave it my all though. And that was a fun race. That was a heck of a battle. Congrats to Noah on a heck of a run. Good race. And congrats. We had some new racers in the new drivers in the race tonight, and congrats to the 00 for third. And it was good having a little bit bigger field, and it was a good race. It was fun.
Yep. Yeah, it was quite the pack that we had all the way up until that green flag stop. That seemed to be the separating factor between a lot of cars. You know, we ended up getting a gap of a second or 2 seconds between a lot of cars. You know, some taking one side tires, some taking all tires, some, you know, doing a splash and dash. But, you know, great field we had today. Like you said, only 3 drivers off of the main lap out of 16 of them. So praise to all the drivers out there. But yeah, second place for you, Jason. Do you have any strategy going into next week, which is, I believe, Indy Road Course?
Man, nothing out of the norm. I mean, I just want to, you know, probably get some test laps in it, prepare. I have run it before in this car, so I have some experience. But again, I run so many different cars in different leagues and stuff. It's hard to always get in the mode and make sure I've got everything set up right. But I want to come in there and have a good race. I'm enjoying these top 3 finishes. Getting to talk to you at the end means I'm doing things right, and just trying to keep pushing through and try to get some more wins. And you know, I know that Noah's there every week, and I know he'll be there next week, putting up a good fight. So I know I got to get better to be able to compete.
Yep. Yeah. Noah always seems to be right up there at the front. You know, really giving everybody a run for their money, whether he's winning the race or he's, you know, just in the top 5, pushing the leaders to have to run their tires down to nothing. But we'll let you go enjoy this one with the team, Jason. I'll let you do your shout outs now, and we'll let you go.
All right, man. Just want to give a shout out to FGR teammates. Trevor was here tonight. Had a little bit of bad luck and just didn't get the finish he deserved, but appreciate all the help he's helping put into this effort. And shout out to Alexander, Zoe, Christopher watching at home, and always racing for them. And shout out to Octane and you as well. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Thank you very much. That was Jason Heaney. He is our second place finisher, and we actually have Noah Miller here tonight. Noah, do I have you down there in number 8?
You got me.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on a win here at Auto Club. You know, fantastic job there, especially at the end. You really gave Jason a run for his money and Davey a run for his money. They just, no matter what they could do, you were staying out ahead of them, and just they could not close that gap to you no matter what. So congrats on being able to hold that gap to those guys, because they're not slouches. They're quick. So great win. What was your strategy coming into that last stint? Well, I heard you took only 2 tires. So how are you making that work?
That was actually an accident. Me and Jason were planning to go into the pits together and come out at the same time. That way we could draft and kind of move away from everyone else. But I only had right sides clicked, so I only took rights, and that was an accident. But it paid off big time.
Yep. Yeah, it gave you just that little bit of a gap to, you know, be able to hold it, and then you were able to make those tires last the entire time. So like I said, congrats on that. We go to Indianapolis Road Course next week. Are you familiar with it, and what's your strategy going in?
Oh, I'm not familiar with it at all. I haven't raced a single minute on that track, so all this week I'm definitely going to be practicing and preparing for that one.
Well, we hope to see you up in the booth again. You're always a formidable opponent to these guys. They always give you praise just on, you know, whether you're just in the top 5 or you're pushing for that race win. you're always right there kind of nagging at them whether they want you to be or not. But great job with your win tonight. We hope to see you again next week. And I'll let you do your shout outs now, and then we'll leave you be to go celebrate.
Shout out to everyone who came out to race tonight, especially the new guys. I always love seeing those green flag stints because that just shows the talent of everyone on how we're able to run for that long. So yeah, shout out to everyone, especially Jason. That was fun racing up front most of the race with him.
Yep. Yeah, it was quite a race to watch. We were getting excited when it was coming down to the wire there, and we were expecting that gap just to close down ever so slightly, little bit by little bit, because Jason had those 4 tires, but you were able to just fend them off. So it was fun to watch. Very fun race, and glad to see all these new faces here. Like you said, a bunch of them running up front with you guys for quite some time, and one new face on the podium, Davey Hendricks. It's great to see some new talent out here.
Yeah, it's nice to have new guys joining.
But we will let you celebrate, Noah. Congrats on the win again. And we hope to see you again next week. And yeah, we'll see how our road course goes again.
Hopefully good.
All right, good night, Noah. And that was Noah Miller. He was our race winner here. We hope that our road race next week goes pretty good. We normally have a little bit less attendance just because road races are a little bit outside of the realm of some of these guys' norm. So we hope to see everybody out there. Come on out, race. Even if you're not, the best at the road courses, especially something like Indy Road Course, it's a tough course. Come out, race, have fun anyway. I love broadcasting for you guys, and if we're under a certain number, we normally don't broadcast, but I hope to see you guys all out there next week in Indy. Everybody, hopefully you guys watch Indy tomorrow and on Sunday in real life, and we'll see you guys on the track here in Octane Outlaws in a week's time.